My friends, let me tell you something that most people don't realize when they chase success. They think the most important thing in life is talent, skill, and intelligence. But the truth is, the people who succeed are not always the smartest, not always the most skilled, not even the most talented. Success belongs to those who have the right attitude. Attitude is what carries you through storms when skills are not enough. Attitude is what keeps you standing when talent fails. You see, skill is something you can learn, something you can buy, something you can develop. But attitude is something that defines you from the inside. If your attitude is wrong, no matter how skilled you are, you will fail. A person with a bad attitude is like a bird with broken wings. It doesn't matter how strong the bird's body is, it will never fly. But a person with the right attitude, even with limited skills, can climb mountains, cross oceans, and achieve the impossible. When I started my journey, I was not the smartest. I was rejected many times. I failed in school. I didn't have money. I didn't have powerful connections. I applied for jobs and got rejected over and over again. By all definitions, I had no reason to succeed. But one thing I had was the right attitude. I refused to give up. I refused to let failure define me. I refused to accept that I was not good enough. That was my weapon, my secret. And that secret is something every one of you can have. Skills will get outdated. The world changes fast. A skill that is useful today may be useless tomorrow. But attitude, the way you look at challenges, the way you look at failures, that never gets outdated. If you have the attitude of learning, you can always build new skills. If you have the attitude of perseverance, you will never stop until you reach your goal. If you have the attitude of positivity, you will always find the light in the darkest times. Look at the world today. Technology is replacing jobs. Artificial intelligence, automation, and machines are faster than human beings. But no machine can replace a person's attitude. No robot can replace a human being's courage, persistence, and passion. The difference between winners and losers in the coming decades will not be skill alone, but the attitude with which you use those skills. You may know someone who is brilliant, maybe a genius, but they always complain. They always give excuses. They blame everyone except themselves. These people rarely succeed because their attitude is a poison. But then you meet someone who is not the most talented, not the most educated, but their heart is strong. They say, I will try. I will learn. I will keep going. These are the people who rise. And if you look at history, almost every great leader, every successful entrepreneur, every innovator was not the one with perfect skill. They were the ones with unstoppable attitude. Attitude is more important than skill because it shapes how you use skill. Imagine you have two people. One is very skilled, but arrogant, negative, and unwilling to listen. The other is not as skilled, but humble, positive, and hungry to grow. Who do you think will go farther in life? The second one, without a doubt. Skills can be taught, but attitude cannot be forced. Attitude is a choice you make every day when you wake up in the morning. When you fail, and you will fail many times in life, your skill won't save you. Your attitude will. Skill may help you solve problems, but attitude helps you rise after being knocked down. Skills will make you money, but attitude will help you keep it and multiply it. Skills may win you applause, but attitude win you respect. My friends, don't just focus on polishing your skills. Focus on building your character, your mindset, your resilience. The world is full of skilled people who are broke, depressed, or lost. But the world is also full of ordinary people with extraordinary attitude who change everything around them. When I was younger, I told myself, even if I fail 1,000 times, I will try again. That attitude gave me courage when I was humiliated, when people laughed at me, when doors closed on my face. If my attitude had been weak, I would have quit long ago, and you would not even know my name today. It was not my skill that saved me. It was my attitude. People often ask, what is more important in business strategy, money or skills? And I always tell them, none of these matter without the right attitude. Because if your attitude is wrong, your strategy will fail, your money will vanish, and your skills will go to waste. But if your attitude is strong, you can fix your strategy, you can find the money, and you can develop skills. Attitude is the foundation. Everything else is built on top of it. So how do you build the right attitude? Start by controlling your thoughts. Negative thoughts lead to negative actions. Positive thoughts lead to positive actions. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, not people who pull you down. Learn to see every problem as an opportunity, and never ever let the rejection destroy your spirit. Remember this, you are not defeated when you lose. You are only defeated when you quit. Quitting is an attitude, not the result. Winners keep trying until the end. Losers give up halfway. Attitude also means humility. When you succeed, don't let pride destroy you. A bad attitude after success is just as dangerous as a bad attitude after failure. Many people rise high, but their arrogance brings them crashing down. The right attitude keeps you grounded, keeps you learning, and keeps you growing. In life, skills open doors, but attitude keeps those doors open. Skills attract opportunities, but attitude builds relationships that last. Skills may bring you to the top, but only attitude will keep you there. So my friends, ask yourself today, what is my attitude? Am I someone who complains, blames, and quits? Or am I someone who believes, persists, and learns? The answer to that question will decide where you will be 10 years from now. Never forget, the greatest investment you can make is not only in learning new skills, but in building a powerful mindset. Skills may help you win battles, but attitude will help you win the war of life. Now I wanted you to leave this place with a promise to yourself. Promise that no matter how many times you fail, you will get up. Promise that no matter how many people doubt you, you will keep believing. Promise that no matter how difficult life gets, you will never let your attitude break. If you can make this promise, then you have already unlocked the greatest secret of success. Because at the end of the day, your skills may get you started, but it is your attitude that will carry you to the finish line. My friends, I want you to pause for a moment and think about the people you admire most in life. Maybe it's a great leader, a successful business person, a teacher, or even someone in your family. If you study them closely, you'll notice something interesting. They are not always the most talented person in the room, not always the most educated, not even the richest. What sets them apart is how they think, how they behave, how they approach life. That is attitude. I've met thousands of people in my journey. Some had brilliant skills. They could code, they could calculate, they could design amazing things, but many of them failed because their attitude was wrong. They gave up easily. They couldn't work with others. They complained too much. They thought the world owed them success. On the other hand, I met people who had very average skills. Maybe they were not the best in the classroom. Maybe they didn't come from powerful families. Maybe they didn't have money. But their attitude was strong. They never gave up. They kept learning. They worked hard with a smile on their face. And those are the people who surprise the world with their success. Let me share a story. Years ago, when I was building my company, I needed people to work with me. I interviewed many candidates. Some came in with impressive resumes, strong technical knowledge, and big words. But their attitude was not right. They didn't believe in teamwork. They wanted quick money. They looked down on others. I didn't hire them. Then I met some candidates who didn't have the strongest skills, but their eyes had a fire, their voice had a determination, and their heart had a passion. They told me, I don't know everything, but I will learn. I may not be the best today, but I will become better tomorrow. And I hired them. Do you know what happened? Those people became the backbone of my company. They grew, they learned, they became leaders. Why? Because their attitude was unstoppable. This is why I tell you again and again, attitude is more important than skill. Skills are like tools. You can collect hundreds of tools in your house, but if you don't have the right mindset, those tools are useless. Attitude is the hand that decides how to use the tool. If the hand is lazy, careless, or afraid, the tools will just collect dust. But if the hand is strong, determined, and creative, even a single tool can build wonders. Think about Thomas Edison, the man who gave the world the electric light bulb. He failed thousands of times before he succeeded. Thousands of failures. Imagine if his attitude was weak. Imagine if after 10 failures, he said, I'm not skilled enough, I give up. The world would still be in darkness. It was not his skill that gave him success. It was his attitude to never give up. Look at Colonel Sanders, the man behind KFC. He was rejected more than 1,000 times before someone finally agreed to sell his recipe. 1,000 rejections. Most people don't face even 10 rejections before quitting. But his attitude kept him going. Today, KFC is known all over the world. They never grow. But even small skills with the right attitude are like seeds planted in rich soil. They grow into giant trees. Now let's talk about your own life. Many of you